Hello, everyone. Hey, what's up? Welcome to our second webinar from Leave Academy. My name is Danka.
I'm Miška.
And I'm part of the admissions team.
I'm a student of Leave Academy from the year 3.
Yes, and you are now watching the webinar about how to fill in your applications, any tips and tricks that we can give you.
Exactly. So, Danka, maybe for the beginning, could you give me some brief description? So, how it all works, when is the deadline, and things like that.
Yeah, sure. So before you are actually even trying to or thinking about applying, is really good to know that Lead Academy has a really specific and special admissions process. Our application is online, so what it actually gives you the opportunity to actually look at it and, and see the content of it. And important deadline is March 7th, so it's pretty much, I believe,
in a week?
Yes, next Wednesday. Other interesting thing about the application is that it's free of charge, so you don't pay anything for filling that out, and also see a really special and specific admissions process to Leave Academy. It's actually one extra application that you can fill it in.
Okay, so if, for example, a specific country has some limitations of applications you can send to high schools,
yes,
the Leave one doesn't cover.
Yes, even though, for example, even if you applied already for some high schools, I don't know, in Slovakia or Czech Republic or anywhere else, don't worry about it. There is only a special additional chance for you to apply to Leave Academy.
Okay. So you mentioned that the application is a bit different, right? So what is the difference, and how should I approach it actually?
Yeah, this is actually a great question. Like, if I mentioned like that it's so different, like what is so different about it? Actually, from even the general experience is like if you were applying for high schools, it was pretty much about maybe the transcript of your grades and like the numbers.
Very brief.
Yes, very brief. Achievements, grades,
formal.
Yeah, so like pretty much you in numbers. So what is a bit different about the Leave Academy application is that we are trying to look at and to get to know you personally. So you can even think of it as some kind of a your own profile or portfolio, where there actually are something like 2 parts in the application. The first one is pretty much like your personal data, so it's regular one, and then there is your profile. So pretty much what motivates you, what interests you, and maybe what is even your motivation to study at Leave Academy.
So I think what Danka is trying to say is that the admissions team wants to know you as a person. So don't be brief and just really express yourself in the application.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to be worried about that you need to write any essay, like really long one, and don't take it, as some kind of a test or a quiz that there are like good and right answers or wrong ones, and you have to be just really like really brief and so don't stress about it too much. It's just really just try to think of what can be accurate for us to know about you.
So yeah, maybe just take it exactly as Danka said, as a portfolio, and fill it in a way you like.
Yeah, you can actually even think about it as some kind of a picture that you can paint about yourself, that we can actually to have some kind of insight, like who you are, and to somehow to get to know you, even if we don't have the chance to meet you in person right away. But maybe to get to know so it's like a Vincent van Gogh, like he painted a picture, and we can even look at it now. you can even somehow know like who was he. So
now maybe do some of the more specific tips.
Sure.
So where should I start?
Yeah. So if you are asking about being specific, I would recommend you to, or any specific tips, I would recommend you to be actually specific. You don't be too long. Just really try to list the list of any activities that you actually do in your free time, the things that you like to do that motivates you, really state your passions or interests that you do, even besides your time in school, what you do in your free time, any extracurriculars that you do.
All right, so of course that we have to paint the picture, so add something extra, but also we should mention all the activities we do. Right?
Yes. I think that even if you check the application online, you can see like the whole every picture, every question that there is, and then you can actually you should not be afraid of the list of the activities that are stated there, because we believe that not all of even the achievements that you actually were able to do are measurable by any competitions or anything like that. So even you can state everything that maybe some kind of a collections that you like to do.
Okay. So imagine that I'm a confused student and I want to apply. Is the application somehow limited? Do I have to start and finish in an hour, or how does it work?
Yeah, actually, you don't have to. The thing is that even when we counted it, if you would even sit on it like right now, it would actually take you on like 45 minutes. But you don't actually have to do that. You can actually go through the whole application. You can see what the questions are like, and even start with it, and then think about it. The answers can be saved. Okay. And you can come back to it even like tomorrow morning, when you will have another maybe idea or anything that to put there. And really, if you are asking like who is it suitable for, it's pretty much everyone age 13 until 17 that can actually try and to fill in the application.
Mm-hmm. So if I was to share my experience, I actually, at first I went through the whole application, I checked all the sections, and then I planned it throughout the whole week. So every day I would do a chunk, and I would read the things I wrote before. So you kind of get the full picture. And sometimes I feel like the things I wrote down were really good. Then I read it again, and there are some mistakes, right? So really give yourself the time.
Yeah. It's it even saves you a lot of stress about how to even paint this picture about yourself, because the last minute application can really like suffer from this lack of time, that you will try to think, no, what should I put there, I don't have enough time. So just really give yourself enough time to think about it.
Actually, you know what, start now. Go to the page, go to the web page and click on the application list for it. I think we actually send you a link as well.
Yes, so
you can check the whole content.
Yes, so we'll just share with you the link that where you can see all the whole application, and you can just really already look at it, start it, and have yourself time.
Okay. So, do you have any other tip? We mentioned that the application is different, right? And that we should list all the activities we do. But because there is probably a big number of applications, I should make it somehow different. I should be original. How do I do that?
Yeah, I would actually recommend you to be creative. I know it can sound really like a cliche, but you don't have to think of it, like that. Oh, I have to do it any particular way. Like some of you maybe like to do videos. So even to do a short video as an introduction of yourself, and of the activities that you do. Or even if someone is not a fan of video, you can just share some kind of a picture of the event that you were attending or even organizing. So there are no limits to the way that you can actually present yourself. It can be a picture, it can be a video, it can be something that you are actually working on. Do you remember what you actually attached as some kind of a creative?
So I attached some pictures, and also I started writing the application as a fairy tale, kind of, because I had a call with one of the lead teachers, And she told me that I should really try to express myself and do it in a way that's comfortable for me. So I just thought it might be a good idea, and it worked out. So yeah. Also, this came to my mind. For example, if I want to apply for leave, but I don't want to start next year, I want to have this gap. So I want to finish my high school, for example. Can I do that?
Oh yeah, sure. Even if you are in the 8th grade right now, and you are just really eager to get to see and to experience the admissions process, and even studying at Leaf Academy, there are no limits. You can even try to fill in the applications now, and if you're gonna, it's really case to case. So it's really individual. Depends. But you can even be admitted, or even try next year. It's really up to you. So no.
So can I try it more times?
Yes, it's actually possible.
All right. So what do we have next? We went through approach. So we agreed that you should approach it a bit differently than the usual application, right? So write as much as you can, even the things you don't deem that important. Other people might find them very interesting. Then we said that you should be specific. So really list all the activities you do, all the passions, everything that comes to your mind. And then we mentioned creativity, right? Yes. So exactly, attach a record if you play piano, for example, video, or you can just write it in an interesting way.
Yeah. And for those of you who maybe joined us recently, welcome to our webinar number 2 about how to fill in your applications to Leave Academy. So just let me briefly check if we have.
Do we have some questions?
Yes. We would probably need to go and see
the web page.
Yes.
So in the meantime, do you have any other tips?
Yes, I would actually maybe include another 2, which is actually really nice to hear also, or to have the impression from the application, is maybe to get to know you even from not only what you are doing right now, but maybe what you are passionate about, and what would you like to do even in the future. So even if you have any specific plans, or these little big dreams that you would like to do or try, any specific projects that you would like to be involved in. So we are really appreciating if you have this growth mindset, that if you are eager learner and you will. I know it sounds a bit nerdy. Yeah, I can imagine that it sounds a bit nerdy, but in a way, I think that it can be really beneficial too for you.
Because sometimes you, for example, work on a project and you don't have the results yet, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't include it, right? We are interested even in that.
Yeah.
So really mention everything.
Yeah, and don't be afraid, if even, I don't know if you have any specific, like passions, I don't know, you're collecting stamps, or I don't know, some specific things, that think is like, oh, that's so boring, no one does it, it's just me, I'm so weird. But that this can be actually the thing that actually makes you special, that people can actually
it makes you stand out.
Yes, in a way.
Because we don't care only about the academics and about the school connected stuff, we care also about other things. So for example, me, I think that I wrote there that last year I was in England for half a year, and I was working with homeless people there. So that kind of stuff that you probably wouldn't think of at first, but that are important.
Yeah, it can be anything from, as Miška said, volunteering to collecting anything, to, I don't know, doing some fundraising for some kind of NGO or anything. It doesn't have to be, what you consider a big thing. It can be really an ordinary things that you are passionate about.
Okay. So now maybe, are there any things I should avoid?
Oh, Yes,
because we gave the tips, right? So then maybe also what not to do.
Yeah, what not to do. I don't know whether we are not giving you too many tips how to write it, but let's see. We can actually kind of tell, or you can see, like, how much kind of effort was put into the application. So if you kind of like, you see that this was like really the last minute, and the person didn't have enough time to think about it, or to put it in a nice think through paragraph, or in some kind of a logic. So that's what really helps, is just to save some time and to be authentic. There is no stress of making something up about yourself. You can be just, if you don't anything else, something, you just, you can just admit, I'm not sure about this, or I don't know that yet, but I'm eager to learn that. So just give yourself enough time to prepare and to think through, the specific things about you. And you don't even, the another thing that maybe is a basic information that I don't know if I mentioned in the beginning, but since even now we are speaking English, and studying at Live Academy is fully in English, so that's why we are trying to to put the application in English as well. But if you are maybe unsure about some things, you don't know how to express in English, you are free even to write it in your mother tongue, for some of the cases. But it's definitely better if you are at least try to do it to write it in English, and then we can somehow elaborate on it, even in the second part, maybe in a personal interview. But there is no need to be worried about it, because we don't expect you to have any like perfect English. It's pretty much about just really trying to find a common language that we can all understand. And we are here also, like here at Live Academy, there is a great space for improving your English. So you don't have to be perfect in it. I don't know how was your experience with writing or filling in the application in English.
So my advantage was that I was in England, right? I spent some time there, but that doesn't mean I felt confident. And that's also why you can return back to your application, and you can actually take the time. So I'm gonna repeat it once again. Start as soon as possible. So really, after we finish, you can go to the web page and go through it and just start thinking about it. You don't have to write it down on the spot at first, but just thinking about it, and maybe you can also discuss it with somebody who's close to you, right? That helps.
Yeah, great. So let us check whether we have some questions from you. We can see. Just give us a second. We can't really find it.
Yeah. So,
oh, yes, sure. So if you are asking about what is the next step when you submit the application, the deadline is March 7th. And within 1 week or two, you will actually receive, you will start to communicating with you. And the second step is pretty much doing the online test. There is no need to be worrying about that. This online test is really about your general study readiness. So you don't have, it's not testing anything of your specific knowledge from, I don't know, math or anything like that. It's pretty much trying to find out, whether you will be, you can handle the academic programs. So it's pretty much about critical thinking, or the logical steps, or logical tasks, or comprehension, and stuff like that. So that's pretty much the follow-up. And also another deadline when you will actually find out the final results in the mid of April. So I believe it's 17th of April.
So you mentioned a test. So I remember that last year we were told that the test is just, for you to check whether we are ready. So how much does it depend on the result?
Yeah, actually, really great question, Miška. The test is really is nothing that to be worried about. It's really just filling the holistic pictures we're trying to paint. From the application. So it's another thing how to get to know. So there is pretty much we don't want to limit anyone. So it's pretty much just about getting to know you somehow better. Also, that there is still a chance because there are like two parts of this applications process. And after you submit your application, and within 1 week, you will receive the instructions to the online test that you will do. And after that, the pre-selected candidates will be invited to an interview, will be later on in the March, and it will be held like online, also like Skype or call or anything like that. Again, nothing that to be worried about. We are just trying to finally kind of like meet the person that we so read about and
Yeah, the interview is super nice. I remember that I was just talking with one lady from the admissions team for an hour, and basically, yeah, about my passions, about what I do, what are my plans. So also the future part. It was very, very nice. So no worries.
Yeah.
So Danka, I think we could maybe sum up what we were talking about so far.
Yeah, sure.
So we mentioned the basic information, right? Which is that the deadline is in a week.
Yeah. So it's 7th of March.
Then
the application is online. It's free of charge, and it's just really extra application for you to apply.
Exactly. You can try it more times. Hopefully not going to be needed.
Yes. The only thing that you need to be is like in the age of 13 until 17, and you can apply for the 4-year program or the 2-year program.
Then we mentioned that the application is a bit different, so try to approach it differently, which means that you don't have to be worried about being too brief. Feel free to write a bit more about yourself. Then we were talking about being specific. So specifically state what you are working on, what are your passions, projects, and basically everything that kind of paints the full picture about you. Then in order to make the application original and to make you stand out, be creative. So really just think about the things you are good at and try to include them as much as possible. Then we also talked about the future, right? So you're not only the things you do at the moment, but also the things you plan. So you can also mention an unfinished project or basically your dreams.
Yeah, or anything that you would like to do, that you are not there yet, but there's some kind of change.
And then as the last tip, I think we mentioned authenticity. Could you maybe elaborate on that? Because authenticity, that's kind of abstract.
Yes.
Abstract term.
Yes, sure. So, what I mean about being authentic, do not try to, try to. I can imagine, that sometimes, people, even us, think about, okay, what is like the good answer I should give to them so they will like me? It's like what they actually want to hear. What kind of a person should I be to be actually a good applicant for a Leave Academy? And try to avoid those kind of thoughts or even trying. Actually, what we do really appreciate is like really seeing you as you are. It's even if you tell us that I don't know if you have some kind of a specific collection of insects, or I don't know.
That's nice, right?
Yeah, it is. It's not anything wrong.
Not that I have one, but
yeah, but even anything that that you feel like, okay, that okay, this is so weird, I shouldn't be talking about this because it doesn't interest anyone. But yeah, it's really try not to think of what other people would like to hear about you, but just really tell about what you're actually doing. So just try to put it out.
Yeah, the good thing is that it's you who can choose what to put there, right? So talk about the things you are good at and you like, and just don't mention the things that are not perfect.
Yeah, we are just really have in mind that we are not looking for some kind of a Superman that actually fell from the skies and is all perfect. Because no one is, you know. Yeah. Sorry, we have some kind of technical problems because we can't see your questions.
Also try to scroll down.
Yes.
Do we have them?
Yes. Or can you actually show us? Sorry for the.
Would be.
So we can ask.
So are you gonna read?
So let's try to read them. Submitted. Hey folks, do you think we should submit the application form on the very last day? So if anything comes to our head, we can still include it, or it is better to submit a few days before a deadline. Yes, I think we already talked about it. There is a chance, you know, to starting the application and I mean correcting it during the some time, you know, even days before. But you know, we just even give yourself a day or two to have that to submit the applications before. But feel free to submit or to edit it during the time.
From my point of view, what I did was that I had that week, as I mentioned, and I was working on it every day for a bit, and I actually submitted it on the very last day, not like 10 minutes before the deadline, right? But I think it's fine. If you don't have any technical problems, it should be okay. So really give yourself the time.
Yeah, sure. There is a really interesting comment on, you know, like whether to have a super clear goal, you know, in your life, you know, or whether deciding. This is something, you know, that is actually that Leap Academy is here for you too, as well as what I believe. And maybe there is a question to Miška, you know, it's whether there is a space, you know, or how Leap Academy can even maybe help you with, you know, trying to finding some kind of a goal, you know.
Definitely. So I don't know how specifically is the question phrased, but I didn't have a specific goal before I came here. I'm not even sure whether I have now, because I naturally like doing a lot of things, and I still like to keep the, you know, more door opened. So I think that Leaf is actually a good opportunity for you to find out what you like, because you have the option to go more deeply into certain stuff. And then you can either find out that you like it and you want to go even deeper, or you would like to rather spend time on something else. So don't be afraid of that. And I think that it's definitely not a mistake when you don't know what you want to do exactly.
Yeah, I would just agree with Miška that even from what I see, like how the whole the education process is set up, it's pretty much about even self-discovery. You know, in many different topics, you know, you will do the projects that you never done before, you know, and then based on these projects or the experience of these doing these projects, you can even find out that okay, I never tried this before, but you know, this can be fun, you know, and I can, you know, even try to start to work on something like that. You know, it can be even like the change of your goal. You know, even that I think it's possible. You know, you can, you know, come with the clear goal, you know, and then, you know, based on your experience here, you can even reconsider, you know, to maybe changing a path. You know.
Yeah.
So.
And it's completely fine. Just don't feel the pressure of being decided.
Yes.
So do we have any other questions?
Yes, whether the right to write it in Slovak or English. I think English it's generally much better, you know, for everyone to understand. And the application is in English as well.
Yeah. So if you feel you struggle with English, just try it, because leave is about effort also. So we appreciate when somebody tries, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can, I think you can include Slovak parts as well, so you can actually express yourself properly. But definitely try English version as well.
Yeah. I found another question. Sorry, I'm jumping all around the places, like for the questions. But so, how many students will be admitted next year? We are looking pretty much for around 40 altogether. So, is really much the mixture of the Central European students, Slovak students, and internationals as well. So. You will find yourself in a really nice community of people. That Miška can tell you. She's experiencing that every day. So how is it actually living with the people of the city?
So it's definitely a huge change, and of course it takes some time until you adjust. But then it helped me in so many ways. So the relationships are a lot different than in my previous school, because you know the people in many situations, and it's really like a family. So you can basically talk with anyone about anything, and you feel okay with that. Yeah, and maybe also about specifying your answer. So it will be 40 students, 20 to the year 1 and 20 to the year 3.
Yes, so it's also for the 4-year and for the 2-year program altogether.
All right. Good. Any more questions?
Any more questions? Just please do ask. We have final 5. We have the last 5 minutes, so there is the final round of your questions if you have any. So you can ask them now when we are here to answer them.
Exactly.
On the spot. Right on the spot. Pretty good.
So if we don't have any, we can maybe sum it up one more time.
Yes, sure. So thank you for watching the webinar number 2 about how to fill in your applications, any tips and tricks that you can bear in mind in filling up your application. The important deadline is March 7th, which is pretty much the next week, Wednesday. If you have any other additional questions, or if you are not sure, please feel to contact us. You can write us email at info@livacademy.eu, or check our website, livacademy.eu.
Maybe you can call them as well.
Yes, nice. or you can even call us. There is another option of even coming and visiting us in person. If you didn't have time to come to our open day this Wednesday, we even give chance to you to come in person. I think tomorrow, and then next week Monday and Tuesday after 4. And yeah, so if you have any.
Yeah. Also, if you want to explore Leaf from as many points of view as possible, we also have, I have this here. We also have Facebook page, and Instagram account, where you can actually see pictures from our day-to-day life. So what do we during the lessons and things like that. So definitely check it out. It's here.
Yes. So even if you put Leaf Academy to Facebook, or you can find us on Instagram.
Exactly.
Okay, I believe.
So maybe just to really sum it up, I think that at least from my point of view and from my experience, the most important thing is to give yourself a time. So I will stress it once again, start the day. You can just read through the questions, but really give yourself the time to think.
Yes, and if you are watching us, even like not only from students from the Europe, but also like the whole internationals, yes, anyone can apply, and just try this admissions process. It's open to anyone. It's just a great opportunity to experience what is it like to to even be talking to our admissions process.
Yes, doesn't cost anything, and
Yes.
it's a good experience.
Yes, we are looking for anyone with a good heart and with the potential and motivation to learn, and it can be anyone, from the Europeans to internationals.
Yeah.
Very good.
So that's probably it from us, right?
Yes. Yes, thank you very much, Miška, for joining me.
You're welcome.
Here. It was a great fun. Hopefully you learn and you find out the answers to your questions. And yes, if you have any other, please contact us and come and see us in person.
Exactly.
And apply March 7th. So thank you very much, guys.
See you.
See you then.